She was a young professional living her dream life, a new condo, a promotion, and a new relationship that made her beam. But on a perfectly ordinary Tuesday morning, Jennifer Kesse did not show up for work. Her car vanished. Her phone went dark. Her apartment appeared almost untouched. And then came the footage. Grainy, clipped, a figure caught on camera, each frame obscuring the face as if the shadows themselves conspired to keep him anonymous. Orlando Sunshine, a woman seemingly in control, and a disappearance so sudden that it feels like the air gets sucked out of the room every time we revisit it. Tonight, darlings, we step into the last known moments of Jennifer Kesse's life, and the truth still hiding behind a stranger's impossible stride. Welcome back, my beautiful darlings, to another chilling episode of R.I.P. with Linzi. I'm your host, Linzi Legrand, coming to you with another journey into the unknown, crafted with love and shadow by Chicken Wrap Entertainment, and brought to life each week by my legendary editor, Spote, at Face Off Visuals. If you're listening in the car, at home, or under the safety of your blankets, get cozy. And don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a comment, a review, join the conversation. Your theories matter here. And trust me, tonight's one case that demands your voice. Okay, darlings, let's drift into the last day of Jennifer Kesse. Jennifer Kesse was 24 years old, vivacious by anyone's standards, glowing, recently promoted at work, and newly moved into her brand new condo in Orlando, her very own. She had just returned from a romantic getaway with her boyfriend Rob Allen in St. Croix. She was happy, she was thriving, her life was aligned. On January 24th, 2006, Jennifer failed to arrive at work. She never missed work. She never overslept. She never ghosted anyone. Within hours, the world shifted. Her car was found. A mysterious figure appeared on surveillance footage. And 19 years later, we still have no resolution. Let's start the deep dive of this case by reconstructing Jennifer's last 24 hours. So the last normal night that Jennifer experienced was on January 23rd. She had just returned from her vacation to St. Croix, landing back in Orlando around 10 p.m. She arrived home, chatted casually with her family, and talked to her boyfriend Rob. Everything seemed perfectly normal and content. She told her parents she was sleepy from travel, and she planned to wake up early for work the next day. In all of their communicating, there was no sense of being fearful, no sense of being watched, no sign that she felt truly unsafe in her condo complex. Just a girl with her whole life ahead of her. The condo complex Jennifer lived in was called Mosaic at Millennia, a newly converted condo complex that was still heavily under construction. Most of the workers that were there were temporary laborers, primarily non-English speaking, transient, and unscreened. She had recently told friends she felt a little uncomfortable with some of the workers, describing the stares and catcalls as intense enough that she felt unsafe walking to and from her car alone. This is a critical thread. We go now to the morning Jennifer vanished. It's 8 a.m. and Jennifer is a no-show at work. Her coworkers noticed immediately because this was completely uncharacteristic behavior. She was never late. By 9 a.m., they were sort of frantically calling her phone to no avail. There was no answer at all. By 11 a.m., they had reached her parents. And by noon, her father was on the road making the 3-hour drive to her condo. Once inside Jennifer's condo, he noted that it showed no sign of struggle. But it also didn't show signs of her truly completing her morning routine either. Some of the key observations are as follows. Her bed looked slept in, but sort of barely disturbed. There was a wet towel hanging, indicating a morning shower. However, please remember that her morning shower would have been at 7 a.m., and by the time someone is inside her apartment evaluating its condition, we're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of high noon. So just keep that in your back pocket for later. Evidently, her makeup was also on the counter, and her clothes were laid out. Her cell phone, iPod, purse, and briefcase were all missing. And her straightener was unplugged, which she always did. That was not unusual. It appeared like she got ready for the day at least most of the way. And on a normal day, she would have left for work between, 7:30 and 7:45. And this is where the world and our timeline dissolves. So fast forward to the car and the unidentified person of interest. So the next day, her car is found. A local news segment reveals that her Chevy Malibu has been located in the parking lot of the Huntington on the Green apartments, about 1.2 miles from the condo. A resident recognized it from broadcast coverage. The CCTV footage is the next important component of this case. This is the moment the case becomes iconic. Her particular complex had one camera, and that camera captured the person who parked Jennifer's car and left. That said, we only have 3 frames, each one perfectly obscuring the face behind a fence post. Some of the speculations are that this person was too tall to be a teenager, but really too small for an average adult man. And one thing of greatest note was a shuffling sort of duck-toed gait, meaning they were walking with their feet turned outwards. Experts estimate the figure was in the range of 5'3" to 5'5", possibly wearing painter's clothes or a degreased uniform. Theories about the CCTV figure include a construction worker from the complex, a maintenance worker, a local teenager, someone who sexually trafficked her. Maybe it was a stalker she didn't realize that she had. But no one was conclusively ever identified. This is one of the most disturbing aspects of any missing persons case, the identification of the suspect. So now we'll move to the condo workers and some of the unanswered questions surrounding that component of this case. A troubling detail emerged the day before Jennifer disappeared. She did actually mention to her parents that construction workers in her complex had been making her feel uncomfortable, going so far as to say she felt a little unsafe, that they would entirely stop working to watch her walk by, that they made comments she really never repeated, but they had clearly disturbed her. Police interviewed some of these workers, but they were transient employees. Many had left the site within a couple of days. Very few of them had documentation, and this is most alarming of all, no fingerprinting of any kind was conducted. No forensic checks were done in the actual units that were currently under construction. Also completely absurd and alarming. This is a case where missed timing and missed details haunts every retelling of this case. It's just egregious. And as in any missing persons case or murder case, you always look at the significant other, in this case, the boyfriend. So let's take a look at Rob. Jennifer and Rob had spent a long weekend in St. Croix. They were happy. They weren't fighting. They spoke the night before her disappearance in a normal, loving tone. Rob was in Fort Lauderdale at the time when she went missing, and police and her family have always said he's not a suspect, nor was there any motive. But here is a twist. Rob's phone records show their call ended around 10 p.m., and that's precisely the time that Jennifer's phone went dark, sometime between 10 p.m. and the next morning. Her phone, iPod, and briefcase have never been recovered. Her phone last pinged near her condo, and it as well has never been recovered. So let's talk about kind of the local landscape and some of the search efforts. Divers searched local lakes, retention ponds, drainage channels, and wooded areas, though unfortunately nothing was ever found. Cadaver dogs led handlers to a nearby lake, but with no conclusive hits. There were also potential scent trails near the car's parked location, but contamination in the area was heavy and ultimately did not lead investigators to anything conclusive. To investigate another theory, this one's a little bit more far-fetched, but this is in essence the theory that someone else used her shower, or that the suspect came back and did some tampering of the crime scene in an effort to make it look as though Jennifer had gotten ready for her day and left. So some investigators believe the towel was damp too late in the day. Again, if she had taken a shower in the neighborhood of 7 a.m., would it still be damp around 12:30? I think there are a lot of factors there. Of course, the thickness of the towel, how it was hung, how much airflow was moving through this particular condo unit. Nonetheless, it did cause some investigators to speculate and stirred up a little suspicion within the force. They went on to note that even though her bed was somewhat messed up, it almost appeared to be staged. It looked unslept in. And then there were also the position of items around the condo, suggesting someone may have been inside after she disappeared. This theory suggests that Jennifer never even made it into her shower, that someone else did it. And it's such a chilling thought. So let's take a look at the theories kind of holistically. Theory 1 is that she was abducted while leaving for work. This is the family's theory and the most widely accepted one. Jennifer likely locked her door, walked toward her car, and was ambushed before she could reach it. Her abductor then drove her car to Huntington-on-the-Green and walked away unseen. The CCTV footage in this case does support this theory. Theory number 2 is a worker from her condo complex. Given her discomfort and the number of workers who vanished nearly immediately after her disappearance, this remains suspicious. A possible scenario is a worker observed her routines, saw her return home from vacation, intercepted her in the early morning, and then used her car to transport her body or belongings, abandoning the car quickly and potentially walking back to the job site. You'll remember that the car's location was found just 1.2 miles from the active crime scene. So this theory is plausible. Someone can walk a mile in, I think, around 10 minutes is the average time. So wouldn't take long to drop her car off and then zip back to work. Theory 3 is that this was a targeted abduction or a trafficking attempt. And Orlando notably has a very serious trafficking corridor. A woman leaving alone at dawn in a construction zone absolutely could have been targeted. And the fact that her items have never resurfaced really supports this theory. Theory 4, which some people consider the least likely, is it was someone that she knew. So police pretty quickly ruled out Rob, as well as exes, co-workers, and known acquaintances. There is really no evidence linking her disappearance to someone in her life that was familiar. Okay, darlings, this is where I step into the shadows with you. In my personal theory, I believe Jennifer was taken before she ever got to her car that morning. She was dressed, prepared, and ready to leave, but the placement of her belongings and the eerie stillness of her condo suggests that she really never finished her morning routine. I mean, the fact that her clothes were still laid out is definitely strange. And the CCTV figure, their gait, their posture, their calmness, to me, it feels like someone who's walked this routine before, for sure, at least before, but maybe even, walked this routine often. Someone who knew no one would look at them twice. The most compelling theory for me is that a worker or transient individual from the condo complex abducted her, likely as she locked her door or reached her car. And I have to imagine that this was fast, efficient, a grab-and-go scenario, and the timeline fits flawlessly. Jennifer was a woman in absolute control of her life. If something had been wrong, really wrong, she absolutely would have told someone. So I personally believe her disappearance was a devastating moment of opportunity for someone who was either already watching her or was already well acquainted with this crime and the series of steps that it takes to commit it. But what do you think, darlings? Comment below, call the hotline for tips, or join us on social media to share your theories. This case is still unsolved after all, and your voice matters more than you know. You can report tips directly to the Orlando Police Department at 321-235-5300 or submit information anonymously through Central Florida Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS, that's TIPS, or online at crimeline.org. Remember, this case is still unsolved, and your voice could be the one that breaks it wide open and brings peace to this suffering family. Thank you, my beautiful darlings, for wandering through the last known days of Jennifer Kesse. As always, R.I.P. with Linzi is presented by Chicken Wrap Entertainment and sculpted into sonic velvet by the incomparable Spote at Face Off Visuals. If tonight's case stirred something in you and you have theories, questions, or chills, share them with us. Your engagement fuels the shadows we chase together. And until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and as always, rest in peace.